Good afternoon, Thunder. As you know, I usually send out an instructional update every Monday or Tuesday. I thought I'd try something a little different this week with the intent of helping everyone understand our walkthrough data. So on the screen is our Q3 walkthrough form, and I'd like to take you through each portion of that form. So as you can see, it says walkthrough quarter 3 data for 2017-2018. So usually what happens is we'll go into the classroom, we'll pick a subject, we'll pick whoever the observer is from the 5 administrators you see there present, and then we will jot down the objective when we find them. Here is just an example objective. This was not someone's objective that I've seen recently, but this is just an example, which would be from an English class. We will then give each objective that we find a DOK rating. Part of the reason why it is so important for us to have them as far as our data collection is concerned, but also, of course, instructionally, it's very important for the kids to understand what it is they are supposed to be learning for the day. This objective, I'd give a level 2. And then the next question is, does the assigned activity relate directly towards achieving that daily objective? So what this question is asking basically is what we're seeing in the class, is it related directly back to that objective? In this case, we will say yes, and go on to the next portion. So the next question on the screen has to do with a description of the activity. So let's just say in that particular class, I observed some peer editing going on. So I would just type that in there. I might add more or I might not, but it'd be just a base description of what was happening on what you assigned as the teacher to the students. And then this next question, the DOK of the assigned activity, has to do everything with the intent of your DOK. What did you intend for them to be working at? So in this case, again, I would put level 2. The next question then goes to the student lived, and this is important because, as we've talked about many times before, do the students live up to your intended DOK? So are they going to then produce at level 2, or are they going to produce at a lower level? Sometimes students surprise us and they go to a higher level, but that would be tracked in this question. So do they live up to your expected DOK level? The next question is just another question about what the students are doing. So not only did we ask what your assignment was, but now what are they actually doing? So I would just put peer editing again here, just to answer that question if that was what I was seeing. And the next question then asks, are the students intentionally supported? So what that means basically, in this case, it would be yes, because they're in partners or they're in pairs peer editing. Sometimes it's the teacher. So if we say yes and it's teacher support, we would click here, or if it was collaborative grouping, we would click there. Teacher support would be basically you in your classrooms moving around, supporting the kids, answering questions directly, as opposed to them being in partners and working together on an assignment. This last question, or it could be the last question, depending on which one it is. If the time of the observation is the beginning or the middle of the period, this is the last question. If it is the end of the period, which I will show you as an example of being the end of the period, then it will give us one more question that is in reference to closure. And this, again, and we've been kind of touching on this, my last update, I made sure to explain kind of what our expectations were as far as closure. And that also goes back to the importance of having an objective for the day, because we want to make sure that we are giving our kids an idea what they were supposed to get out of the day, and then giving them an opportunity to demonstrate that they learned it. So in this case, we'll say yes, there was closure and it matched the objective. So this would be an example of that. I'm going to have to go back and delete that, but that would be the last submission. The last button is submit on the form. So that data is now part of our Q3 walkthrough information. So that kind of gives you a better idea, hopefully, of what we're doing when we come into your classrooms. Take a look at the data that I will also attach to this from our last update from last week. If you have any questions, let us know. One last thing, Wednesday's collaboration will be in the library. We're going to have a staff meeting that deals directly with WASC. Ms. Kelly will send out more information about what will be happening in that meeting. Hope you guys have a great week. Thanks.